We even just appreciate you just responding and going, hey, I'm busy, well, maybe later, because, I mean, you're probably getting bombarded.
Yeah, I got a lot of attention all the time. I've never been, nobody knew who I was
Right,
beforehand, so I was like,
right.
okay, no, I can do this, all right. But
Are you having fun at Cosmic Summit, though?
amazing.
Yeah?
So good.
Yeah. And what's been your favorite part?
Well, I had met like a bunch of the different, oh, okay.
Oh,
Is
shoot,
this
we're
live
filming?
or,
I guess so. No,
okay,
not
yeah.
live, not live.
Oh, all right.
I didn't even know we were shooting, but I guess we are.
Yeah.
Just started asking questions. So let's get this okay.
Well, I can say I already knew a lot of these speakers previously, but there's a couple I've never met, like Ben Van Kerkwijk I've never met, or Dan Richards I've never met.
Yeah.
Praveen Mohan, he was one of my top. I've really been wanting to meet him for a long time.
Praveen was my favorite from last year. I love his channel, so I love meeting him this year as well. Did you like his presentation?
Oh yeah, brilliant. Always. I mean, he's the top. But I also hadn't ever met the Coffer Project in person.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
This is my first time getting actually face-to-face with them, and that's been really, really good because we've got so much to talk about. For sure.
And did you get to hold the vases?
Oh yeah. And I'm working with Matt. I brought the Coffer Project to meet Matt, Matt Bell, and he invited me on his podcast next month.
Wonderful, that's exciting.
Actually, a few weeks ago he did, but we got to talk a little bit about it beforehand. And I'm telling him about, because he just released, he announced that he was doing this project, funding the project to drill into the big void above the Grand Gallery. I kind of filled him in on the fact that we have a different plan that would not involve any drilling, no robots, and we could actually get into that chamber, potentially at least, ourselves with cameras.
Very cool.
It's this whole thing right now. It's hitting this. I don't know. It's coming to a head with like I figured we would just keep working on this until we get the permit. Mm-hmm. But this year now it's like end game kind of. We just got told that we might have like a 70% chance of getting the permit we're trying to get to actually be underground and film this stuff, which we're 95% sure is going to connect right under the Great Pyramid and Coffer Pyramid from tunnels in the east where we're trying to enter. But at the same time, the report came back from our friend who's putting in the application that there are 3 other countries trying to get our permit now. So this is a very important location off to the east, directly east of the Giza of the Great Pyramid, and that was, basically, I don't know. Whoever gets it basically this year is going to have it for years to come. If we don't get it this year, someone else might, and they're not going to preserve this stuff. They're going to raid it, they're going to rob it, and this is what's been going on. And this is a very, very sensitive site because we only announced it in my 3rd film in my series, Secret Underworld of Giza.
I saw that.
We only told people about it because we already knew that all the bad guys already knew about it, to put it bluntly. The people that were trying to get in there and raid it and rob it and steal all that, sell it on the black market, and humanity loses, We wouldn't have revealed the location if we didn't know. They already knew. But
is the biggest hurdle funding, or what do you think is going to be the to get access?
It's always been funding and
who
the permit. We've put in the application several times in the past few years, and we didn't have the real funding then, but we. This time we do have some people that seem more serious about funding than we've had in the past. But to be honest, I think it was Hawass blocking in the past. And we've considered just, offering him the chance to be part of it or be on the film we make or whatever. But we're just waiting him out. We're just trying to have a nice dinner and talking about it with him or something. We're willing to play ball with him and work with him and cooperate. But, he's been blocking it pretty much. The council, if they vote on it fairly, it's like there's no reason not to do it because the sites we're trying to dig at, there's nothing there, absolutely no risk to the monuments.
Not going to damage anything.
Way far away from the Sphinx and pyramids, nothing can get hurt. It's a pile of rubble. They just demolished this entire section of the village, and they aren't even doing the scans there, which is the only positive aspect of like all of these people losing their homes and businesses. Our friends, like the people of the village of Nazar El Saman, it's terrible. Like in 2021, they demolished a whole section of it, and in the next few years, they're trying to demolish 10 times that. All the eastern village on the whole eastern side. And it's like, there's a lot of the plateau is actually under the village there. So if you demolish the houses, it's a mixed bag. It's like, that's sad to displace all these people. But the only silver lining of this is to find all the tunnels and stuff that we already know are there. So it's like, why aren't they doing this? Why isn't the GEM sponsoring these excavations? Why aren't, why isn't Zahi trying to get it to happen? And why do we have to like scramble to get the money and beg them to let us do what they should have already been doing?
If you put your conspiracy hat on, why do you think it is?
Well, we know the kind of stuff that's down there.
Right.
We know exactly what's under where we want to dig. We know where the chambers and shafts are. We have so much information, and this is world-breaking news. What's under there is it's going to change the world in a big way. To put it simply, there's definitely extraterrestrial artifacts. There are things, advanced technology, working technology, machinery. There are ET mummies, if you...
Yeah. So this could be like potentially bigger than Tutankhamun kind of thing, right?
This would be the end of all power structures on Earth. Of the United Nations, of the Vatican, of these invested interests of financial systems, energy systems, medical systems, and history. It all will be rewritten if we do open up and see what's under there.
Are you going to tell Matt Bell about this on the show?
I just did. Well, I told him some things about our plan that could avoid the drilling, because there was one project where they drilled inside the Great Pyramid. One of my friends was involved with, and they drilled in and sand started pouring out. And it's like they were freaked out. They tried to plug it, but it's like they don't know what they're doing, and that could really affect the pyramid, its functionality. It's risky and sketchy. So I told Matt, I said, we got a safer plan and he just interviewed Zahi. He did a good job.
I agree.
And I will be bringing all this up with him next month. I'll do a recording on the 16th of July with him.
Okay. So you're going to go to Sarasota, Florida and do he's got a really cool studio. So are you looking forward to that?
Oh yeah. I actually, he invited me and I said, I'm actually going to be in Florida next month. I'm going to my friend Brian Sang is putting on this conference. It's called the Full Disclosure Now Conference.
Okay.
And so I was going to that, and he said, that's an hour away. So I was like, oh,
perfect.
Awesome, cool.
Perfect.
But I'm very excited to talk with him. I love the collection he brought here. Beautiful vases.
And, getting my hands on those, I was like, okay, this is different. Everyone says, like when you hold it, it's like a different experience in seeing it, but it's the truth. It's the truth, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You can't feel those things just for a photo. And I was really glad in his presentation, he actually, at the end, he mentioned John Anthony West, who was the first person to really bring attention to all those pieces.
Correct.
In the Cairo Museum.
People the tour guides would just walk through and be like, there's some vases, no big deal, nothing to see here.
Yeah. John had the ability to look from a different perspective and see things that other people... He looked at the Sphinx, which is the most photographed object in human history.
Correct.
It's been seen by billions of people throughout thousands of years. Nobody ever saw what was right in front of their face, all this water weathering. And he was my dear friend and mentor, or a teacher. He was my guide as I learned all this stuff. So I was really glad to see that Matt knew the history and acknowledged who had really started it.
Yeah, he really did start the whole thing, and hopefully you guys get to make the discovery that you guys are looking at. When do you think you'll find out about the the permit? Do you have any idea, or is it just a waiting game?
Probably pretty soon, actually. Our friend who would be running the project and managing all the workers and is he's right now working on putting together the golden application.
Mm-hmm.
He's having all these meetings and bringing in all the right people. He knows who the ministry wants to see. He's worked on countless missions at Giza, excavation, scanning projects, foreign missions, German, French, all different teams. He's worked with Awas, he's worked with Aziri. He knows everyone in the ministry.
Okay.
So he's putting together the golden application for us.
Woo!
And this has been, we're like 3 weeks into a month, he said it would take. So
Okay.
in a week or two, we might be hearing something back from him. And once we all agree on how we're going to do it, we're going to put the application in. Because, like I say, we're racing against 3 other teams. He said there's a French, a Spain, and America are all.
A French team, a Spanish team, and a United States team?
They're all, because when we exposed that temple complex, they all saw where it was too, and now they're trying to get our discovery, you know.
And who knows what for, you know?
Yeah,
Not, probably not the truth, right?
yeah. I think it's pretty clear that probably the American team they're talking about would probably be the group that Mark Lehner works with.
Okay.
And, like, I mean, Bill met with Mark Lehner as well.
Is Mark still very active in this stuff?
He's very interested in the site we're
Okay.
looking at because he actually worked just to the east of there is the extension of it's called the Great Pyramid Causeway, or some people call it the Khufu Causeway. And most of that causeway, unlike the Sphinx Causeway, that one goes deep into the village, and it goes all the way to where he and Hawass were saying the Nile used to come up to, and there's the Khufu Valley Temple at the end there. So this causeway goes deep into the village, and they demolished all the houses for part of it, and he started uncovering it all, which we documented over the year or two he worked on it. They started uncovering, and all these megalithic blocks, exact same style as the pyramids themselves, very ancient stuff, and that was really exciting to start seeing part of the causeway come up.
Right.
But Mark Lehner he wants our spot. He actually applied for it, and Zahi denied him. So
Wow.
if you know
I know the history,
relationship,
yes, correct.
that doesn't happen often. Usually Zahi and Lehner are still very, very close, and it was very surprising for me to hear that even he couldn't get it.
That's very interesting. It'll be. I really hope that the good team wins, and and humanity gets to know what's down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to benefit everyone. Everyone in Egypt is going to benefit from it.
Yes.
If we show the world the truth, it's going to 10x the tourism industry there.
For sure.
Everyone's going to feel that. No one's going to be hurt by it. Everyone's going to be amazed. It would be good for everyone except people who are trying to hold on to control of the narrative, control of the world.
Yeah.
Basically.
How can
And
people kind of stay on top of developments in the story?
Well, I mostly put information out on my YouTube
Yep,
channel,
yep.
which is Trevor Grassi. It's just my name as the YouTube channel. So I've got a series about a lot of the most relevant and unknown information. It's called The Secret Underworld of Giza. And I've got another one revealing NC2. And then I've got a few interviews with the Coffer Project, Armando and Filippo. So there's a lot of, I'm just putting all this exclusive information up on my YouTube. I'm posting a lot on Facebook as well, the same name, so people can follow that. But you can expect some really big stuff coming in the next month or two. So
Very cool. That's exciting.
yeah, I really want to. Any help getting the message out is really raising awareness is the key.
We'll put it on our channel, Mike and Dave's Multiverse, as well as Occult Rejects, and we'll get your message out there.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for talking to me. Yeah, appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Appreciate the help.
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah.